Well, it's Ashes time. The premier test series in the world. Optus Stadium in Perth playing host. 1 for 16 after 4 overs after Zach Crawley went for a duck. And that's a great shot through the offside by Ollie Pope. Looks like he might get his first boundary. This might just stay right towards the line. 3 runs for Ollie Pope. Ben Duckett, on the other hand, has looked very good, hasn't he? 13 of 11 deliveries. Has just left a couple of balls, but other than that, he really has taken care of business, giving them a really bright and early start. With Zach Crawley's early wicket, he really did struggle against Mitch Starc in that first over. He was beaten on a couple of occasions, and when the ball was a touch fuller, he was looking to drive. He was nowhere near a thick edge, and the first wicket of the Test series went once again to Mitch Starc. And when the ball was a touch. Well, it's bright and early here. Perth, of course, just a couple of hours ahead of India time. Luckily, it's not an earlier start as Starc is back in the attack and he nearly squares up Ben Duckett with a beauty. He is still clocking in well over 143 Ks here, Mitch Starc. Really is a special bowler, and in Pat Cummins' absence, he will have to lead the pace attack for this test match. Hopefully, from the Aussies' point of view, Cummins will be back in the next game. But till then, they'll have to hold on without their skipper, Steve Smith, back as the captain today. .23 Ashes tests for Mitch Starc, 98 wickets. With an average of 27. Packed house here in Perth. Fuller delivery just looks to flick that off the pads. He is trying to tempt him there. Mitch Starc trying to go touch Fuller, wanting to get Ben Duckett on the front foot to drive. A little too full on that occasion. Good delivery though. Mitch Starc is really steaming in. He is bowled wonderfully well here to start things off. The way that he's just put the pressure on early. Got that early wicket of Zach Crawley without troubling the scoring. And he's keeping Ben Duckett guessing here. Really do like some of the graphics that Fox Cricket for Cricket Australia has gotten in this season. They keep elevating their game and really is something that every other cricket board can take a few notes. As here goes Starc. Flicked off the onside. He has got that fine and he'll race away to the boundary. It's Ben Duckett again who is making all the noise, getting the runs flowing very quickly. And he's off and running too, off Mitch Starc. That is a shot much needed from Ben Doak's point of view. Look at that. It was just kept back. Waits for it. Flicks that late. Nobody there at fine leg. Boundary for Ben Duckett. Well, Duckett and Pope both look quite comfortable out there in the middle after that early wobble of Zach Crawley. Zach Crawley never looked set in that innings. All 6 deliveries he faced really was stressful viewing from an England point of view. Starc now steaming in, trying to finish off his over with a couple of good balls. Shorter delivery. You see there Duckett looking to cut. Wasn't there. Beaten by the pace again. See, Mitch Starc is really cranking it up in the pace department. 7 runs in this over for him. A touch expensive after his first 2 overs went for nothing. Well, Duckett will know that that was a bit of an irresponsible shot, really. Trying to cut. Bounce does the better of him. We'll start with the 3 and a 4 conceded here. Can expect a bit more of a fuller delivery after dropping that quite short in that previous delivery. Ben Duckett, 17 of 15 deliveries, has gotten a move on absolutely well here. Final delivery of the 5th. What a first session has been. Intriguing stuff here. And he does go full. He looks to crunch that on the offside. It's a dot ball to end the over. 5 overs gone. It's 23 for 1. Well, the Aussies will be very pleased with the start. Yes, England have gotten a couple of boundaries going, but that early wicket was critical and getting Zach Crawley without troubling the scoring was probably the first point of action for Australia. Get that early wicket, and from there, we'll try and assess the situation. Remember Crawley cracking a cover drive for a boundary. Mitch Starc getting Ben Duckett in his first delivery. These have all been highlights in the last couple of Ashes tours. England have historically struggled when they do come to Australia. The Aussies are pretty confident that they should be taking the series maybe 3-1 or even 3-2, as Scotty Boland coming in for his third over. With on offer, Ollie Pope with a one-handed shot there through the offside. Just takes a single after fielding at point. Took the pace off. We'll get a couple of runs. Ollie Pope again seeing a bit of width on offer, looking to slash at it. And the bottom hand comes off the bat. It's risky stuff here from Ollie Pope. And from England's point of view, they really do have to preserve their wickets here, because if the Aussies do smell blood in the early stages, make no mistake about it, they will go for the kill. Ollie Pope 8 of 9, Ben Duckett 17 of 16. Scott Boland looking for his first wicket. I mean, how consistent he has been every time the ball gets thrown to him. Generally a first change bowler, now with the new ball in hand. That's a much better length there from Scotty Boland. Ollie Pope with a compact defence there. Dot ball. Big series for Pope as well. I think his place in the squad is there because of the experience he does bring, but he needs to bring consistent runs. Even against India, he got 100 in the first test, but from there it was really hard work for Ollie Pope. They need consistency, especially at number 3. Just give a bit of cover before Joe Root comes in. Of course, he is their key batsman for England. Head and shoulders. Touch fuller on that occasion. Punches that through the covers. Just get a single. Bit of a misfield. Sent back. And Scott Boland will trouble that outside edge time and time again, and then get one to hoop back in towards the stumps. Keeps the batsman guessing. And that's where Ben Duckett and Ollie Pope will have to be very careful in these stages, especially with the new ball still having the shine on it. Well, all the talk in the summer was about Bazball and how they're going to try and use that to neutralize the Australians. We'll see whether or not that works. As Scott Boland is going to try and trouble the stumps here. Nathan Lyons already been diving about. Getting into his 40s here, Nathan Lyons. 37, 38 maybe. As here goes Scott Boland halfway through his over. Plays that late there, Ben Duckett. Trying to just run that through the gully region. Straight to Cam Green. And Cam Green, that is his position where he does take some fantastic catches. England would be just looking to try and get a move on here. I always like to keep their run rate above 5 and over. That's something that they have been instrumental in doing throughout their campaign under Brendan McCullum at the stewardship. Fuller delivery. What a shot that is from Ben Duckett. Straight down the ground. No need to run for that. That's a boundary off the bat of Ben Duckett. A quite magnificent shot. When you do tempt him with that kind of full length, he doesn't need another invitation. Just takes a step forward. Beautifully done. Full face of the bat. Oh, that's a beautiful off drive. Well, the boundaries will keep coming off the bat of the English batsmen. That's for sure. You know that they are aggressive when the scoring opportunities do present itself. That was quality. Oh, that's a beautiful comeback there from Scott Boland. That kind of length is tremendous. Ben Duckett was caught in his crease. They won't go for the DRS early on. There wasn't much of a nick. I think Steve Smith will preserve his review. 6 overs gone. It's 30 for 1. Well, that's what England are all about. Despite losing that early wicket, still being positive, still being on that front foot. Scoring at 5 and over. Pope and Duckett, now looking a bit more settled out there in the middle. Well, Steve Smith versus Ben Stokes will be a huge contest as the game goes on. You all know about Ben Stokes' ability to really put that S on his chest and bowl some magnificent spells. He will be called upon for the same this summer, that's for sure. We'll see whether or not how England do manage the workload of Ben Stokes. Jofra Archer is another one that they have to really take care of. He's fit and firing for the first test. Whether or not they'll take the same approach of playing him every alternate test, or does he go for the first couple of tests, we'll wait and see. The Optus Stadium here in Perth, a different track, a different environment, but still does not have that whacker about it, but still a very challenging pitch for the batsmen, especially with the new ball and the bounce. Well, Mitch Starc, 3 overs, 1 for 7. Got 2 slips and a gully as he looks to try and unsettle Ollie Pope at the crease. Here goes Starc. Watchful defence there from Ollie Pope. Well, England would have been very disappointed not to get an opening stand out of Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett. Zach Crawley never looked set out there in the middle, really was struggling. Every delivery from Mitch Starc had him guessing. And in the final delivery of the over, where he was just looking to settle and survive, he nicks one to slip. Ollie Pope looking to navigate this Mitch Starc over. That one flicked off the pads. Should get a couple. He's placed that very well in the square leg region. Should get 2, maybe even get 3 here, but they don't decide to test the arm. Good fielding there to restrict that to just 2 rather than 3. And that's a confident shot again. Anytime they get run scoring opportunities, you know that the English batsmen will take it. They're not stuck in their crease. They're looking to be positive out there. And they're getting exactly what they're looking for here. A 32 for 1. It's Starc into his 4th over. Width on offer, cuts well. That is outstanding fielding there from Cam Green at gully. And gets his massive frame down low very quickly to save a certain boundary. It was cut with pace. There's enough on the ball. This is a brilliant fielding effort there from Cam Green. Outstanding work from the big man. But saving a certain boundary is very much welcome here. You can see the pace of the ball really does beat Ollie Pope. Looking for the cut shot. Just gets some bat on it. Cam Green, outstanding. Not just with his catching, but also with his low fielding. The Aussies have held the Ashes since winning the 2017-18 series. Heading into a good part of 7 years now. Heading into number 8. So the English will be looking to overturn and finally wrestle the Ashes away from the Aussies. Won't be the easiest of conditions here. Here goes Starc again. Fuller delivery, he's caught him on the pads, he's asked the question and he gets the reward. Both openers dismissed by Mitch Starc. This one a touch fuller, Ben Duckett hoping for a bit of assistance here. Ollie Pope has maybe given him the green light for the review. There is a bit of movement. They have taken the review. England in real trouble here. Mitch Starc with the full delivery. Catches Duckett on the pads. No contact with the bat. It's all about whether or not it's crashing into leg stump. The umpire's call may not save Ben Duckett, as we'll wait and see how the DRS pans out here. It's pitched in line. Ooh, he might have a case, you know. It's caught him on the front pad, which might be the saving grace here. Let contact with the bat. It's caught him on the inside of the front pad. It might be crashing just into leg stump. This is a very close decision. Maybe, just maybe, the umpire's review will save him there. Oh, it has. It is just clipping leg stump. All of it. Ben Duckett will have to walk. Mitch Starc has gotten both openers. Tremendous, tremendous bowling this from Mitch Starc. What a start to the summer for him. England in real trouble at 33 for 2. Well, he got Zach Crawley with a length delivery. This one fuller to Duckett. He does not have the start that he was looking for. Mitch Starc rolling back the ears. Getting both England openers out. England reeling now at 33 for 2. Well, this is exactly the start that the Aussies were looking for. Cause all sorts of problems. And they've exactly done that. They do come with an intensity that if you're not ready for it, you can be caught. And that's exactly what's happened here for England so far. Well, what's this? What's the tactic now with Joe Root coming out in the middle? This is going to be critical stuff. As Ollie Pope and Joe Root will have to settle the innings here. Two experienced campaigners, but getting into the middle far too early from their point of view. Well, Starc has got Root exactly where he wants him now. First ball for Joe Root, the elite batsman that he is, facing the heat. It's a wise leave there. Mitch Starc has to try and attack the stumps. Doesn't decide to do so. Root with a safe leave first on. Mitch Starc has bowled every delivery north of 140 Ks. I mean, his fitness and conditioning is something really you have to behold. Really is a special athlete. Bowling well into his 30s. With this kind of pace, intensity and his fitness, he rarely misses test matches for a guy his size. And the pace that he bowls with. Final delivery of the Starc over here. He has been superb. Ooh, he beats the outside edge of Joe Root. First delivery at 145 Ks. He is steaming in here, Mitch Starc. It's a dot ball to end that Starc over. 3 runs and a wicket coming off at 33 for 2. England very much on the back foot here. Australia just looking to swarm the English batsmen. Superb from Mitch Starc. Absolutely brilliant from him. You see, he's just inviting Joe Root forward on the drive. Completely beaten with the pace here. There's that Ben Duckett review. It was crashing into leg stump. They were confident. The umpire did not hesitate. Duckett wastes a review early on. And now the Aussies have the English batsmen exactly where they want them. Not too many runs on the board. Both openers back in the hut. And now it's Scotty Boland to Ollie Pope. Worked away well on the onside. He's got that into the gap. Should just be a couple. Well, this is where England, their mental resolve will be tested here. They won't have much time to settle. They know that the Aussies are very much fired up for this situation. Here goes Boland. Oh, he's played that tentatively there, Ollie Pope. He's 15 off 15. Playing at a runner ball. Scotty Boland has bowled with great intensity. A different role for him in this test match. Generally used to bowling first change. Now getting the new ball alongside Mitch Starc. Trying to just settle into this rhythm. He's been very expensive in his first 3 overs. 25 runs for Scott Boland. We don't really associate Scotty Boland with stats like that. Have a look at his touch map very soon here as he... Beautiful. Oh, there's a touch there by Scotty Boland. Has Joe Root dragged his bat in time? This could be incredible. It was driven down the ground. Boland gets a touch on it. Crashes against the stumps. Joe Root has his heart in his mouth here. without troubling the score. This could be a massive, massive moment in this match. Well, this could go from bad to really worse for England if Joe Root goes without troubling the scoring. This is a very good drive. Boland does well to get his hand to it. Clear touch from the bowler. Crashes against the stumps. Oh, Root is fine. He has dragged his bat in time. Whew. That would have been some way to dismiss the key batsman. He drags his bat in time. That was very, very hectic. Yep, good presence of mind there from Joe Root. It stays at 2 wickets down. It could have very easily gone to 3 if someone on the other hand wasn't as switched on as Joe Root. Here goes Boland. That's a much better delivery there. Love that length from him. He is tempting the batsman forward, but that outside edge is very much on play. 35 for 2. England, every time they feel like they're getting a bit of a momentum in their end, they get struck with a wicket. Scotty Boland looking to bring things down here. 25 for no loss has been expensive from his point of view. Good comeback to the over here. 2 deliveries left. Fuller delivery looks to crack that. Oh, what a shot. No need to run for that, Ollie Pope. That's a boundary off the bat. Again, the runs keep pouring off the Scotty Boland innings. This is really poor from Boland as he goes a touch fuller again. Ollie Pope with the off drive. No mid-off in play and no need to run either. Cracking shot. Far too straight. Takes the full advantage. Ollie Pope has looked confident. He really has. Every time there is an opportunity to drive and get on his front foot, that's very much what he's been up to here. It's a good leave. Better from Scott Boland. It's a dot ball to end the over. 8 overs gone. It's 39 for 2. Scott Boland continues to be expensive. His 4 overs gone for 29 runs. England looking to clearly target Scotty Boland as they're getting absolutely no change of Mitch Starc, who has been creating so much havoc at the other end, taking both the openers. Well, the Ashes series really does motor on very quickly. Those 5 tests are played with very little break in between. With 5 boundaries in the innings so far, 39 for 2 have been England. Pope cracked the boundary, which brings Root back on strike here. He's got to face Mitch Starc. 2 for 10 of his 4 overs. Here goes the left hammer. He's got the cross seam here, looking to unsettle Root. It's a good leave again there from Root. Just digs that a touch short. Root taking a more conservative approach here, not looking to get bat on ball with every delivery. Give a few leaves, just get his eye in and make sure that he tries and judges the bounce of the pitch. He was completely bamboozled in the previous Starc over where Starc went a lot fuller with the cross seam, inviting Root forward for the drive. Completely missed out. Well, Root has had a heart and mouth moment already with that run out. Starc has picked up Root 8 times in tests, an average of 43.5. We're looking for that average to dip down, but also get his wicket. Again, he's tempting him with the width, isn't he? He wants Joe Root to get onto that front foot and drive. Good delivery there from Starc again. He keeps the batsman guessing with his length. You never really know. Can't really get out of your crease either because he can get that steep bounce with his pace. It's all about almost anticipating where Mitch Starc is going to pitch that delivery. And Pat Cummins, not fit for this test. We'll have a close eye on proceedings though. He is the conductor, the orchestrator, the main man Australia cricket here. Stark keeps him guessing with the length. Safely. Even look at the pace again from Stark. 143.7. He has consistently hit the 140 mark with every delivery that he's bowled. He's getting very good pace. That's something that we always associate Mitch Stark with. And even though he's been advancing in age, his pace has gone nowhere. Maybe not hitting the 150 mark, but doesn't really have to. He's got the bounce, he's got the variety, and he's got the pace. Well, Root yet to get off the mark here. 5 deliveries faced. Stark looking to create a bit of a problem there. That one climbed on Root, trying to get on top of it to try and guide that through point. Still yet to get off the mark. It's been tough work for Root out there in the middle, but having seen 2 early dismissals of Mitch Stark, he's rightfully using the conservative approach here rather than go for the positive one. Stark has a couple more deliveries yet to concede a run in this over. Here goes Mitch Stark again. He squares him up and he gets the edge. Joe Root is dismissed for a duck. Can you believe it? Mitch Stark with an absolute ripper of a delivery. Squares up Joe Root. Thick edge to third slip. England in real trouble now. Root walks for a duck. This is a beautiful delivery there. Straight into the hands of Marnus Labuschagne. Mitch Stark has been on fire. He's got 3 wickets. He has ripped through the top order. England in real trouble now with 39 for 3. Beautiful from Mitch Stark again. He is rolling back the years. 2 ducks in this innings already with Crawley, and now the all-important Joe Root having to walk. England in so much trouble. Where do they go from here? They've got Harry Brook coming in next, but the wickets have been tumbling. Number 1, 2 and 4 now back in the hut for very little. This is exactly where Australia wanted England. They have them in their sights. They've got the vice grip around their necks. And now it's all about how tightly the Aussies squeeze now. Mitch Stark, my goodness me. He is a monster, absolute monster. Final delivery of the Mitch Stark over 3 for 10. Has Harry Brook 2,800 test runs under his belt. This situation could not be more stressful from an England point of view. They've probably woken up far too early for this, the English fans, to see their team not just wobble but on the verge of a collapse here. This is the key wicket. Mitch Stark keeps getting wickets, keeps troubling the opposition. Well, final delivery of his 5th. He has been electric. First ball to Harry Brook. Brook will have his heart beating out of his chest here for the first delivery. Here goes Stark. Steaming in. Oh, it's right on top of off. What a delivery. That is first up, but Harry Brook navigates that safely. It's a dot ball to end yet another magnificent. Oh, what a delivery that is. Doggett first up nearly gets the edge. Ollie Pope has played all around that one. Doggett's first delivery has completely unsettled Ollie Pope. Wow, he's got the height, he's got the bounce. First change and nearly a wicket first up. Oh, he's completely beaten Ollie Pope. Look at that from Pope. That is not a good shot. he could have very easily been cleaned up, gotten an edge. He is so fortunate to still be out there in the middle. That is what you should not be doing out there in the middle. Highlighted with Doggett's first delivery, his first test. He picked up 13 wickets in the Shield, in the 2 games in the Shield that he has played. Coming in as first change. You see that Scotty Boland has struggled. He's gone at over 6 and over, so you can see why Steve Smith is just trying to freshen things up at the other end. Give Doggett a bit of a confidence here, because they know that the English batsmen are very much on the back foot here. They're not going to be playing with that same level of confidence and, baseball as you like to say it. Ollie Pope is the settled batsman. You see that they keep tempting them outside the off stump. It has worked for them. Harry Brook at the other end. His wicket now suddenly has a premium on it, because if England lose one more here, could really be nightmare scenario. Brendan Doggett, 6 matches, 32 wickets in 23-24 at an average of 21.91. 7 wickets, 33 wickets. And 24.15 last year, and this time just the 2 Shields games needed before he gets to put on the baggy green. He's got him right in front there, Ollie Pope. Oh, it's just the height question, isn't it? He goes on the front foot here, and that's exactly what Doggett's asking. Is it the height? It really could be, because he was caught high on the thigh pad. Ollie Pope has really struggled against Brendan Doggett here. Look at this, great delivery. Invites him on the front foot. Takes a thick edge. It wasn't the height. Doggett nearly getting a wicket in his very first over in international cricket. 2 deliveries left. Steve Smith, a good call there, identifying the nick. Oh, that's a loose delivery. Flicked off. Comfortable boundary there for Ollie Pope. No fine leg in place. A welcome boundary there for England. Takes them to 43. Doggett trying to just dig that ball into the rib cage. Got that all wrong. Might have come off the thigh pad. Doesn't matter from an England perspective. They'll take the boundary. The Doggett, almost like a Glenn McGrath run up here. It doesn't get any sort of jump. He just runs through the crease quickly. Final delivery of his over. That's a wise leave there from Ollie Pope. 10 overs gone. It's 43 for 3. And you can see the Aussies' body language here. They look fired up. Well, Doggett hasn't conceded a run in his first over because that previous one hit the thigh pad. But he caused Ollie Pope so many problems in his first over. Got the ball to move around. Cracked Pope on the pads, but via a deflection off the bat and leg byes and his penultimate over them. Brendan Doggett with good accuracy, really. If you look at his first over, I think talk about hitting the mark. That's exactly what you want to do first up here. Well, England are going at 4.5, just under 4.5 and over. But now a problem arrives. Starkin, and look at that from Harry Brook. He gives him the charge. Doesn't get the connection on it, but should have enough maybe to get to the ropes. No, it doesn't. Should just get 3 runs. Well, that is a very interesting approach there from Harry Brook. But he's seen his other batsman just caught in the crease. Brook decides that he's going to take a different approach here and give Stark the charge. We'll talk about showing bravery. That's exactly what we've seen there from Harry